Ruben, some patients actually discovered the impending closure today, talking to 7 News.
Nick, this is where the dramatic chase finished, but it all began 200 kilometres away in Inverell.
7 News understands that this man is wanted by police.
Some of the meanest bulls in the country are going to come flying out of those gates behind me, because I'm one of the millions of people completely swept up in Matilda's mania. Men's game to Scully Park next season. After a successful training camp in town, the men's side are hoping to spread their wings in future seasons.
I don't see why not. The facilities out here are great. The fans came out today as well, so it's good to see.
He says the energy companies planning renewable projects need to do better to consult with communities.
Clearly the energy companies need to do better when it comes to that engagement and consultation.
Member for New England Barnaby Joyce fanned the flames of today's protest.
I say to Mr Albanese in the very first step, we are trying to get a Senate inquiry up in Canberra. Mr Albanese, you're blocking it.
A second call out to a paddock in Westdale, where horses were unable to reach higher ground.
We've gone out and put the two horses in the same paddock and led them to dry ground where they'll be able to safe no matter how high the floodwater rises.
Floodwaters reaching the front steps of her Cherry Street home.
3 centimetres a half hour, so I knew that I was going to have to get out.
The streets in North Gunnedah remain deserted, with many local roads still underwater. Those who chose to stay are getting around by boat.
Trees came down on cars and sheds, while this one only narrowly missed smashing into this family's home.
It all depends on the weather conditions. RFS are ramping up efforts across the district to complete the hazard reduction program by the end of the season.
Fire and rescue and RFS crews working side by side to clear bush near homes. The area around Dangersley Road and Galloway Street was identified.
For some farmers in the northwest, cotton harvest has come and gone. But on the outskirts of Gunnedah, the machinery is hitting the paddocks. The full white bowls attracting tourists from New South Wales and neighbouring states. Around this time each year, the Liverpool Plains is transformed into fields of yellow. This particular patch is Ian Carter's. Despite the conditions, Jay Lee braved the big chill, making sure the snow was used to its full potential.
I just got some of the snow and just started rolling it.
But the creation wasn't complete without its accessories. The expansion will include more production and processing rooms. The plan to revamp the facility will cost around $1.76 million.
Travellers now have the option of 4 or more flights to Sydney and return. And the flight crew also ticking off a few more regional destinations off their travel list.
Currently we're serving through Sydney with Narrabri and Inverell, and so it's just another destination. It's great.
Link Airways will now operate 28 return flights from Sydney to Tamworth weekly, starting with 2 trips today.
The New South Wales Nurses and Midwives Association had asked for a 1-year 15% pay rise.
But most polls have the No campaign well on top, including the crucial rural vote.
We're the ones who live with the division. We clearly understand that. I'd never take anything for granted. I think we'll have to see this one right through. I think it is such a divisive debacle.
A battered motorcycle. And tonight a family in mourning after a 42-year-old Narrabri man was hit and killed, leaving a Gunnedah service station.
Local SES crews brought in backup from Glen Innes and Manila today.
Today meeting and greeting some of their biggest fans, the Wiggles volunteer firefighter has hoped to inspire a new generation to choose a career that makes a difference. To frightening props. Tracy Slater's front yard is a Halloween spectacular.
Flying high atop of Mount Bora, hang gliders set off,
guiding and teaching youth a range of skills, from carpentry, maintenance, construction, fabrication and farm work. Kids like Jerry have found a mentor in Jace.
He's the man out in the middle for North Tamworth. Englishman Frankie Cripps looked comfortable in the nets at Riverside. Jockeys squeeze in some early morning track work. Reece Burton left unmarked at the back post. Jamie Carroll has been in his corner from the beginning. He couldn't be prouder of his progress in and out of the ring. Right now, Colt Northey and Josh McCulloch are cooking up a fresh challenge. Fighting on the same night. From Redfern all the way to Walker, the Bunnies fans came out of the woodwork as Rabbitohs royalty Greg Inglis arrived in town. You wouldn't expect to see a South African Nyla in bushland outside Gunnedah, but it makes perfect practice for Ann Stubbs. The Namoy Valley Archery Club has become a second home for the veteran.
I wanted to be a busker. I had dreams of how do you get into that? How do you do that? I wanted to be up there with those people.
Max Jackson and James Johnston will host the Golden Guitar Awards.
Thrill seekers lining up to tackle the rides in a stunning display of fireworks to close out the performances.
Streets are filled with fans and shop fronts booming with buskers. Visitors are excited to explore all there is on offer.
And while wind gusts and rainfall are expected to ease overnight, residents are reminded to be extra cautious on the roads.
The cool and moderate winds provide the perfect conditions for hazard reduction burns. The cold and wet weather hasn't kept crowds away. The 4 rides on offer, getting the heart racing.
But there is said to be one piece of skill involved, and that's knowing when to walk away before you lose it all.
Several other service providers in the region have received the same response from NDIS to drop their clients off at the hospital when their funding runs out.
Australia Post says on average a person only sends 15 letters a year and receives just 2.4 in the mailbox each week.
The hot weather and calm conditions combined for a perfect day on the water.
AgQuip is one of the biggest events of the year and it's integral to small businesses.
Get ready to hand drive! Greece will be here at Tas this weekend and next week.
Meaning buddy programs, plays, assemblies and other activities can return.
Greenskeepers want to ensure they leave the trade in a better place. They're encouraging the next generation to pick up the tools.
Experts say the most cost-effective way to keep the heaters on this winter is to set it to 23 degrees. This will take the chill off the air and also keep you comfortable in your own home.
Rachel Holdsworth, 7 News.